Mr. Weber, I appreciated your comments in your opening testimony regarding adequate human presence needed for strong borders, and with that comes adequate human rights for those who are working at our borders. You mentioned experienced officers sometimes being pushed out of their role. So we've heard directly from the minister, and it seems he's aware that there are some systematic issues at CBSA. From your perspective, how widespread is the discrimination or retaliation specifically faced by women who go through something like maternity leave or illness?
Yeah, I mean, the CBSA ranks last in the Public Service Employee Survey almost every year. That is not an accident. There is fear of reprisal, there's fear of reporting, there's fear of being subject to an investigation that is not impartial. Women face far more of those challenges. We do have workplaces that are, I think the word toxic fits. Many of you have probably read about the Danielle Getsy case out of BC, one of the more high-profile ones. That is not unique. It is a challenge.
So for clarity, are we talking about isolated cases, or do you see a more broader toxic culture issue?
Yeah, it's a cultural issue. It's at many workplaces across the CBSA.
So can you speak to whether CBSA has a pattern then of removing women from acting roles or specialty positions when they become pregnant and go on maternity leave?
We have seen that, yes.
Have you seen multiple cases?
Seen multiple. I mentioned one with Danielle Getsy, but
yeah.
It does happen. It is a difficult environment for women to thrive in often, yes.
Okay, so the National Integrity Center of Expertise, NICE, is an internal unit of the CBSA established to handle workplace harassment and violent prevention. Have your members raised concerns about the fairness or independence of these internal investigators?
Very often, yes.
So we've seen situations where labor relations appears to influence or direct harassment in investigations. From the union's perspective, is there an inherent conflict when CBSA investigates itself?
It could be more impartial. One of the big problems we have with the NICE process is that it leads to recommendations that go through a health and safety committee to put in preventative measures. It fails to address the actions that led to the complaint in any kind of disciplinary manner. So what we see quite often is frontline, a member, the first response of the employer is discipline. When a member brings forward a complaint to NICE about managerial misconduct, it never leads to discipline. It does not lead down that route.
So just to clarify that, in your experience, when a woman at CBSA becomes pregnant or is diagnosed perhaps with a serious illness, is her career safe or is she more at risk?
I would say she is more at risk than a man would be. There are policies around that. Specifically, we had one with the Danielle Getsy case around the detector dog service where essentially if you're off for more than 90 days, you're automatically removed as a dog handler, which means that having a child is just out of the question. And women are told that when they enter that program.
I have heard from several women who have said this, and I find it alarming that a federal organization is behaving in this manner. No woman in this country should ever have to choose between having a child and keeping her career, and yet that is exactly what is happening inside a federal agency under this government. One last quick question before I take my last minute to just put read into a verbal notice of a motion. Has the CBSA president ever engaged?
Madam, that is fine. You can do that, but it's going to eat in your time.
I understand that. So you stopped my time just then, right? Has the CBSA president ever engaged with your union to acknowledge, investigate, or correct some systematic discrimination?
We've met with high-level representatives directly with the president on the case I mentioned, no.
Okay. All right, so I would just like to give a verbal notice of just a notice of a motion that the committee undertake a study pursuant to Standing Order 1082 on the systematic discrimination and toxic workplace culture within the Canada Border Services agencies, that the study include a minimum of 5 meetings, and that the committee invite the Minister of Public Safety, the President of the Canada Border Services Agency, the President and additional representatives of the Customs and Immigration Union, former and current CBSA employees with lived experiences, experts in workplace culture and harassment, and any other witnesses the committee deems appropriate to appear before it, and that the committee report its findings and recommendations to the House. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, MP Kirkland.